Hello, guys. Welcome back to a new episode of Above. And if you haven't seen the last video, which is on Operateurs channel, then I would suggest you go check it out because he did something amazing. And just so you are up to date with the series, and don't forget to watch each video we post on our channels. So yeah, guys. But today, you saw in some of Operateurs when he made the support of the island, he put these two shops down here. And I asked him if he had any plans with it, and he said he was just kind of hoping to make something related to the vineyard. And I said to him that, well, I might give it a go and see what I can figure out to do here. And I've had this idea in my head of having this sort of little building here you see I'm making here, and have this little crossover bridge to another building. I've had that in my head for like days, so I just thought, okay, let me just see how this will end up looking if I go with this idea. So that's what I'm basically doing today, guys. I'm building this shop and this toilet. I'll probably make a little bit more of it in the next video. I'm not sure if I'm gonna make a new video like where I'm just gonna do the rest, because it's not a lot that are missing, so it's probably gonna be a very short episode if that's what I'm gonna do. But nevertheless, it's not gonna be finished in this video. I mean, the building itself is pretty much, but more mainly of detailing and the surroundings and all that stuff, which is something I'll do in the next ones. So but I said in the previous episode too that I was struggling a little bit with detailing when it came to the queue lines and all that stuff here in this kind of area. But when I started building this, I had in mind that I wanted to keep the vineyard vibe going strong here, and kind of like try not to divide it so much away from the vineyard theme we have. So I had some things that I tried, and some of them didn't really work out the way I planned it. So I scrapped that idea and just went on to do this instead. So you see me here, I'm kind of like making that little overhang bridge, which is gonna be connected from these two buildings. And I also make some custom roofs, as you can see here. It's not a lot, but it does the job. And what I mainly do here is that I main like this first segment, and then I just kind of like move it, and then afterwards I go in and, as you can see here, change the color a little bit on the roof and make some a little bit up and lower some, so it kind of gives that tile roof. And just a few things you can add to it and just recolor them, and that's basically how you have a roof. It's such a neat idea, and it doesn't really take a lot of time. Because if you have this idea you can do it on, then it goes super fast, instead of you making one side of a roof and then goes on and make the next one and do it individually. And it's a pickle to do it like that. But as I said, guys, the only thing I had in mind with this build was to have some sort of the vineyard vibe to it here too. I wasn't going for building it exactly like Operateur did, but just kind of like take some different stuff so it still has the vibe. Because as you can see here, I was struggling a little bit of detailing it in the first beginning and how I was gonna do it, and if I should have windows and all that stuff. And I feel like that the window down here on the bottom didn't really make sense, so I kind of like just made a door, and then it felt more realistic wise that you can actually walk in here into the shop as well, and you can even walk upstairs. I know you don't have the stairs, but who cares? I'm actually quite satisfied on how this building turns out. I'm still thinking that the station for the car ride is my favorite build so far, but I'm really liking this build too. it was kind of like the idea, as I said, I had in my head with this overhang bridge going to another building, and kind of, I actually think that in this time, the build actually turned out way better than than the thought itself, which I'm super happy about. It's not very often you get to that where you actually build something out of your head and the build actually turns out way better. So that's definitely a plus in my book here. Also, I did try a little bit different style of building this time. I also said to Porteur that I was kind of a little bit tired of making all these block buildings all the time. So I felt like we needed something round and something a little bit different, kind of like to divide it. So what I did was I built this round circle building, and I was struggling a lot with the roof on it, because I didn't really have any roof that fitted perfectly for it. So I ended up making my own custom roof on it with some wooden brackets and all that stuff, which you guys will see. And I also end up trim it and all that. So it was a pickle to kind of like get the roof done. I did use a lot of time on it, but it worked out in the end quite nicely. So I'm super happy about that. As you can see here, I'm just trying to trim and kind of like put these two things together so it looks more organic and natural. And then I will of course add the foliage and hanging roses and all that stuff to it as well. So and I was not super like digging the idea of the circle building here at first, because I had it for like an hour without any roofs on, and I was just really thinking, how can I do this? And what you see here me doing is that doing the wood bracket custom roof, because I did cut out some stuff where I actually tried to build with the roof spires and all the roofs we actually have in this game, but nothing worked out for me as I wanted it. So it was kind of it was a pickle to figure out how to make it look nice, but in the long haul I'm pretty satisfied. But as you guys can see, and you probably will see a little bit through the video, that I struggled a lot with the roof here, and it's not even the best roof I've made. And that is also why I say that the roof might need a little bit more work in maybe the next episode. But for now I'm kind of satisfied on how I have it standing for now. I do end up trim it a lot, because I really didn't like that it was just like, like just making that this little overhang and just kind of like fade it into the building. I didn't like that, so I'm gonna give it some trim work later on as well. I was also struggling a little bit with how I could make the end of the roof. I looked at Operateur's Vineyard buildings, and he used one of the gold domes for like the little spire peak. And I'm super happy how it ended up looking. Of course, I had Operateur's building to get inspiration from, and I was sending him the picture afterwards, and I was kind of like in a little, will he gonna like this? Because in some way I went a totally different direction that he wanted it, with the vineyard theme, but I still kind of like just added my own touch to the vineyard theme, and he liked it a lot. And that's the main thing, right? It's good when we like each other's things we do here in the projects, and we are so honest to each other. So if there's nothing we don't like that each other made, we are saying it to each other, because we want this part to be perfect. And if there's just a little thing that one of us doesn't agree with each other on, then we find another way. And that's how collab should be, right? So here I'm doing the trim work. It's always a pickle to make trim work on a round building here, as you can see. But I did get to it, and I didn't add a lot of trim work to it, only this though, because it was, you know how hard it is to do trim work on this. So I rather just wanted to detail it with windows and balconies and all the good stuff that I usually add on to it. And I think that I'm actually making the roof spire later on in the video, because there's not I'm actually, because as I said, I was struggling a little bit, so sometimes, you know me, I go back to something else and try to do that instead. And I gotta say, I'm quite happy for the turnout. I do end up adding something else here, where you see me struggle a little bit with the window. Yeah, so I did try different kind of ideas on the top here, as I've said, and nothing really worked out for me quite as well. And I also, as I said, end up deleting this window and adding some more stuff to it. But I'm almost here at the where I'm kind of like felt like I needed to close this roof dome here in some way, so I kind of like can get a view on how it would look with the actual spire. So I did that, and I'm quite satisfied. It's nothing wow, but it works, and that's all I really care about when it comes to it sometimes. Here I'm adding that little balcony I was telling you guys about. It really did a lot to the building here. It make it feel more natural, and kind of like not super like the shape is more hidden away now than just having this sort of cylinder building, where this kind of like overhang with the balcony kind of like saved it a little bit on how the look is, and I'm really liking how that looked. And just trying to make some custom doors here, and some windows. It was a little bit of a struggle, but I got to it in the end, as you guys can see. And here I just kind of like just make it look pretty and adding some detailing and all that good stuff you always know, guys. And also, let me share a good news with you guys. I'm gonna make a live stream with Frontier the 27th of March. So I would hope that lots of you guys will be there. I'm gonna show Blackmire, Dania, and I am even gonna show you guys Above End. I talked with Oboteur about it, and he thinks it's awesome. And of course we're gonna show Above End on the live stream. So if you guys wanna see how the park looks in guest perspective and have a little sightseeing, I think you guys should come to the live stream the 27th of March and join us. Cause yeah, I would love to have all of you guys there and show you guys around of everything I've been building here in Planet Coaster. So yeah, that was just a little thing, guys. I'm super stoked and I'm super hyped about it, so I thought I would share it with you guys, and I hope lots of you can come and be there. So yeah, that was just a little thing, guys. I'm gonna go back to the build now. When the toilet, when we came to the toilet here, I actually didn't know what to do about it. I wanted to add like an extension building to the other building, but I didn't want to close it in with a door. This one, because I felt the door felt too clumsy. So I just made it look a little bit more prettier inside of the toilet, like with some of that marble trim I think we have, and some of the vintage pillars and all that stuff. I'm just trying to make it look natural, and I really didn't think the doors did a good job here as they do other places. So yeah, but anyways, guys, enough talk. I will give you guys some music, and I will get back to you guys in the end and talk a little bit more. So enjoy, guys, and I'll see you soon. Alright guys, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed the songs. What you saw me do was I made the trellis work up, over the toilet building and kind of like extended it with the bridge, so it kind of felt like you were walking like under something for a long time, and kind of just give the illusion of it. And I really like that. I also add a little bit of stuff on the building on the left, where you also saw me make the little fence, which I thought were kind of fitted perfectly here. I kind of like enclosed it a little bit, so it feels like it's their own little garden, or like you have to like walk next to the fence, kind of like to get in there. And I'm really liking how this looks. The back side of these buildings here was mainly just to have something to look at that looks nice when you look at from the other side here. And I felt like a balcony and some doors and windows kind of was I could add here. I didn't feel like building all the way out to the edge. I felt like I needed some space between the edge and the buildings here, so I kind of just went with this, so they kind of like can go on the back side of the building and kind of like get in. I know the toilet building is super small and it doesn't really make sense to have a window and door on them, but it gives the illusion of there is something there, right? And as I said, I really didn't feel like building super big. Here I kind of like just felt like I wanted to keep it small and simple, and I'm pretty happy how that turned out. I'm actually quite happy how this area turned out, to be honest, just the entire thing, because as I said, only thing I had was this kind of bridge image in my head of two buildings kind of like connect with this bridge in the middle. And after I got that, it was mainly just the detail that was gonna do the most of the work here, because I can't really add more stuff. I don't really feel like adding more stuff to this on the right side though. Maybe on the round building I'll do some more stuff. But this part here, kind of like, I'm pretty satisfied with this. And I also add some small windows more on the building here. I'm just kind of like make this building look super cool. And try to make some of the things make sense that I build on it. And yeah, you know, it's just, everything is kind of like makes sense in the long haul when you kind of like put all the pieces together and all that stuff. And I must say that after I see the round building here with all the box building we have around the park, it really does something. It makes a nice variation, and yeah, I'm just really happy that I went with this way, because I really couldn't have any other. I didn't have any ideas to start to go with in the start, only that I had to build it similar or like relatable to the Vineyard, like given the same vibes and all that. And I did try, and I kind of like came out of it quite okay. I don't know what I'm gonna tackle next. Of course, I said that I'm probably gonna do the last bits on this build. Maybe I'll probably do it on camera if it's some important stuff. I did do stuff off camera where I'm like adding a little chair on the balcony and all that stuff, but that was mainly just me fiddling around at the end when I kind of like felt like I was finishing the build up. So I needed some more stuff there. I was hoping I could get a chimney on and kind of like extend the base a little bit more, but it just didn't work out for me as I wanted it. And I also go back and reduce some of the wooden brackets on the roof, because some of them are like clipping and there are like a little bit of layers on top of each other, which I probably can do something about. I'll probably add some stuff too on the little area you see. I don't know if you can see it between the two paths. There's a little bit of emptiness between the vineyard and the path. So I'm probably gonna fill that stuff out with some shrubs and foliage and all that stuff, because there's not really enough room for anything else there. So I guess that's one way to tackle it too. And as you can see here, I do end up go up and add some trim work, as I said in the start of the video, which is something I would do in the end, because I just felt like this roof was incomplete all the time. So after I put the trim work on it kind of shined up a little bit more. It made it look like a proper roof compared to how it just looks now with the wooden brackets and all that stuff. And I wanted to make it more prettier and organized, so that's what I did. And I'm also adding a little bit of like a little transparent ceiling What is that called? Hatch? Is it a hatch it's called? Let's just call it a hatch for now. If I'm wrong, let me know. But the more trim I added to the roof here, the more I liked it. And as you can see here, I'm also kind of like adding something to the wood brackets too, kind of like varying it a little bit. And here I'm doing that thing I did, where I'm using the trap door as kind of like the hatch for something that you can actually get up there on the ceiling roof where you can transport it. And I feel like this is kind of neat to have this sort of at the vineyard area, kind of like have these sort of things where it feels like they can move stuff and everything just makes sense, you know. And I feel like when I made this little thing on the top here, that was actually just what this roof needed, to be honest. So I'm super happy about that. I also do end up trimming this little trap door here. You can see I just put them plain on right now, but I do end up giving them some pillar trim work, so it doesn't look super repetitive when I duplicated them. But soon we're almost at the end here, guys. But I gotta say, compared to the track right station build, this is probably my second favorite build in the park. And I actually was quite surprised that I had the mojo and the groove to get through this build and kind of like have this idea and just go for it. I think sometimes I think too much of how it's gonna end instead of just getting onto it and build, because I know in the long haul that it's gonna look way better as soon as I start at detailing and all that stuff on. So yeah. Here I'm kind of like making a little bit of a custom-made scaffolding. I thought that this building could need something a little bit broken up. And also just because I felt like it was too plain and I didn't know what to add of detailing. So I thought, why just make it a little bit broken and just kind of like make a little bit of a stairway. And yeah, you know, just make things make sense and kind of like connect with each other. So I'm super happy about that as well. Because it is tough when it comes to adding the same details all over and over again. But this build in particular, I'm quite satisfied, and this is kind of like something new to Above End, if I have to say it myself. And I'm really happy that this build turned out way better than I expected, which is so nice. And I don't know, I might add an animatronic in the middle there, so it feels like people are actually walking on this little bridge overhang that I did. So I'm quite satisfied. Here I'm just adding the last detail to the path here, because I feel like it still needed a little bit of things here before I could say, okay, it's done now. And I just like playing with the foliage. So, and I don't know actually what Auteur's gonna do in the next episode. Probably trying to see if he can close in the support and some of the walls on the edge, because I think that would be quite a nice thing to move on to now, and kind of like to get the island enclosed in with supports and the walls and all that stuff, so we kind of like get an image on how it would look. But yeah, that's for next episode, and I actually don't know exactly what he's gonna do, but we will see, guys. But anyways, I hope you guys could stand my rant here, and hope you like the build, guys, and let me know what you guys think of it all, and yeah, share your thoughts, guys. I would love to hear them. Here I'm just making a little area. I thought it needed some benches, some chairs, and a little bit of canopies, umbrellas, I think they're called, for like the overhang of the area here. So I'm quite satisfied. I think this was like the tip of the iceberg here, you know, like it made the atmosphere look super neat, and I'm super happy about it. And you know, bunting never hurts to place down as well. But anyways, guys, as I said, I appreciate you guys for watching. Let me hear your guys' thoughts in the comments below, and remember to check Auteur's video next week, guys. Enjoy the cinematics and have an awesome day, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.